The other trade bull
Yeah.
that I think could work.
By the way, why did the Cavs, why were we not talking about Mikal Bridges for the Cavs, Mikey?
Did you see what they gave up?
Who cares? I'm trying to win.
The Cavs don't have 4 first-round picks to trade.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
No, literally, they have this
Yeah.
first-round pick, and they can't trade a first-round pick for another 5 years.
But I think it was a great trade by the Knicks, don't you?
I do.
I think it was a good trade for both sides.
Well, fine, but who cares about the Nets? You don't know what those picks are going to become. The Knicks are trying to win. They're all in. I give them credit for that.
The Nets ended up making another trade to get their own pick back.
Yeah.
And they're going to be terrible, so now they have the first pick. But
Right.
we'll talk about the Mikal Bridges trade in a sec. But now because the Knicks have acquired Mikal Bridges for 4 first-round picks and some, it is highly, 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 highly unlikely they will re-sign OG Anunoby.
Really? I thought they were going to try to re-sign him, no?
Well, they're already at the first apron of the luxury tax now without an Anunoby extension.
Their owner's a super billionaire. I mean, he can afford it.
I got a question.
I think it makes more sense, Bull, because Anunoby plays the exact same position they now have a plethora of in Bridges and Hart.
Oh, they got so many players.
A
that
little
I'd love the
sign
Cavs
and
to
trade
have.
action, and I have to confirm, I am not 100% sure this works under the CBA. I am 92% sure it can work, but there's an 8% chance that it may not. A sign and trade for Anunoby for Allen, essentially, to save the Knicks to save the Knicks from going on to the second apron of luxury tax, and then Anunoby would be a perfect basketball fit here in Cleveland.
You would be sabotaging the Knicks because if the lights was bright back 2 years ago, he got to play there every day.
And Hartenstein's a free agent.
It'd be
He's
really
gonna get
like
bagged.
Right, he would replace Hartenstein.
He's
for them.
gone. Mitchell Robinson has 2 years left, but a really reasonable $13 million contract.
I mean, I would do that, sure.
If it's on the table and it works, once again, I'm not 100% sure it works under the new CBA because right now the Cavs are not a luxury tax team. The Knicks are a first apron luxury tax team, and that prohibits you from doing types of deals, and I'm not 100% confident on the wording of the second CBA and how that works. But if that was on the table, that'd be a hell of a counter
Mikey,
to the Knicks.
Mikey, with the Nets selling, would you trade for Cam Johnson?
Yeah, but I think every team in the league is going to be in line to get Cam Johnson, and the Cavs don't have assets to trade.
So here's the problem with this deal for me. You're assuming that the Knicks are going to help the Cavs because this trade is a help to the Cavs.
But if they don't, they're going to lose Anunoby for nothing.
But here's the thing.
They can trade him to a Western Conference team.
Of course. But I'm saying that's the reason they would consider something.
If you are here, right, and the Knicks have been starving for a championship since Willis Reed.
Yeah.
Why would you not do what you needed to do to go into the second apron?
I would do anything.
And the Knicks are the hottest team in the city right now. They play a great style. They got a great coach. They just made the move for Bridges. They signed Anunoby. They are right there with
If
the
I
Celtics.
were them, I'm re-signing Anunoby and Hartenstein.
They are
and
right
I don't
there.
care how much it costs.
They
I
are
think
there
part
with
of
the
the reason,
Celtics.
G, that they made this trade is they've been talking to OG Anunoby and have not been able to come to terms on an extension. He wants up to $247 million, which he is eligible for, and it doesn't seem like the Knicks are going to come anywhere near that number.
Yeah, I mean, they're stupid. not
They're
to
dumb
try.
if they don't
Yeah.
want. They don't want to win. Then so they're dumb. It's just money. You're rich. You're gonna be. Listen. What are you 70? You got 7-8 more years, and then
Knicks
your kids are
sell
gonna
out.
blow your money.
The Knicks are going to sell out every game. You know how much tickets cost?
They are.
I mean, come on now.
I just don't. For me. Oh my God! This is DEFCON. If they sign Anunoby, that's DEFCON.
It's
6.
over.
It's done.
And they would be doing that just to beat the Celtics. Like that.
The Knicks have all these players that I would love to have on the Cavs, right? Like all these, interchangeable parts that can play
Julius
different
Randle's
positions.
still there, right?
He
ain't
is.
gone.
Yes. If they got and they got it. They got guys that can do it. And then DiVincenzo just turned himself into Steph Curry in one season.
Yeah, he did.
He don't miss now.
Yeah,
Brunson be killing people, literally. He just be like, hey, I've got 50. And Josh Hart is just a dude that gets 40 rebounds a game as a guard.
I heard
So, G,
somebody.
what's the Cavs counter to this then? Can they go into next season without making a drastic move, knowing how much better the Eastern Conference has gotten with the Knicks acquiring Mikal Bridges?
No.
I think if they're not going to trade Garland or Allen, they have to find a creative way to get another very good player without trading them. It's going to be tricky because
What messes?
I don't know what you're going to get for Darius Garland, and you can't trade him. Making a trade just to trade, if you get pennies on the dollar, doesn't make any sense.
The problem with it is that the two players that you looking to trade, one of them your star said you can't trade, and the other one is his value is so down that nobody wants him right now.
Right.
So it's like essentially by default you have no choice but to run him back. But
don't run it back. Find a way to get some other players.
That's what I'm saying. It's insanity to just think that we're gonna keep this exact same lineup and everything is just gonna
but
be
it is a
great.
different coach, and if he's good, it
Still,
could make a difference.
You gotta get like somebody. It has to be
They need
something
to add
you
some
can
other
do
players some way.
to get somebody.
Listen, they just, and here's my thing, and the biggest counterpoint I keep hearing is, well, we haven't seen what they look like when they're healthy. We haven't seen what they look like when they're healthy. And we've seen that with 51
You
games.
haven't seen it with Atkinson.
No, we haven't seen with Atkinson,
Yeah.
but here's another thing.
Yeah.
No.
We didn't, Kristaps Porzingis didn't even play in the series against us.
That's true.
And that wasn't even close. Now you look at what the Knicks got. Julius Randle missed the whole year. My question is...
But Donovan didn't play much in that series, and Allen didn't play in that series.
Well, listen, you got Julius Randle.
Yeah,
and
I hear you.
You add him
I'm not
to
trying
this.
to argue that the Cavs are better than either of those teams.
No.
But-
And even my thing is, I wouldn't win a championship.
Yeah.
Even if they do make it past the East. Who are they? They're not...
I agree with you, G, but
What's the
trading Darius for a player that's worse is not the answer.
No. Like you can't. You're not going to trade him for a worse player. My thing is, this is why I was talking about Koby Altman. See, the frustration point comes where we try to say, how are we going to upgrade, and you have no picks. You just don't have picks.
They're in a tough spot. Like, who's the Mike without trading Garland or
Allen.
Allen? Thank you guys. Who's the best player they can get? Whether it's like one in a trade or free agency.
It would have to be they have a mid-level exception in free agency.
So
And
a
they
sign
don't-
and trade type
And
of
they
thing.
don't have cap space.
Which means their best trade package they could put together, if you're not touching the core four,
Yeah.
is LeVert 20 tonight and George Niang for salary purposes. And, like, for example, those two
You
salary-wise,
can't trade tonight's draft pick, though, right?
you could draft a guy and then agree to trade
Oh,
him.
that's
But I'm
true,
saying,
yeah.
like, in theory, LeVert makes $16 million, Niang makes $8 million, and a first-round pick. That's $25 million. Cam Johnson, for example,
Yeah.
with the Nets, who are going through a fire sale, makes $25 million a year. There are going to be teams lining up out the door
Right.
for Cam Johnson services. Is Karis LeVert, George Niang, and a first-round pick
No.
going to entice the Nets when other teams could offer other packages? I just don't know what your
if they sell
I don't know
him-
what your best return is for that package. Like how I'm asking you three. If you're another team,
Not
how
much.
enticed would you be
Not
by
much.
George
Minimum.
Niang?
Let me ask you this, Big Nuggets. You say the Nets.
Shoot.
You said the Nets traded and got their pick back, right?
Correct.
They could trade that. They could trade Cam Johnson and just sell and get the number one pick because you said that the prospects that come out next year is like
Right, but they could trade
generational
him,
talent.
They could trade him to another team that could trade more draft picks.
Oklahoma City could offer 17 first-round picks.
Right,
That's
that's
my
the
point.
problem.
Cam Johnson will be traded.
The
I feel
Cavs are
pretty
in a tough
confident.
spot because Garland's hard to trade because his value's down. Allen's hard to trade because he doesn't fit the modern NBA as well. Plus, you love him, and he's coming off a good year. You don't really, in a way, you don't want to trade him, but you feel like you have to. The Cavs are in a tricky spot.
Y'all
Figure it out.
Y'all be laughing and cackling and kiki and ha every time I bring Monty Bates' name up. But here's the problem.
I did it last week. I did it last week for you.
But if you got a dude that used to be the best player in the country,
he really the saving grace, to be honest with you.
and you got him sitting around and he's 6'9" and can shoot the basketball, and you don't give him opportunity to
He
play.
don't play no defense.
Hey,
man.
listen, guess what?
He don't play a
Hey, develop it. Hey, develop it.
They've been trying.
You got listen. I don't trust JB in developing nothing. He can't develop an offense, let alone a player.
The one thing about JB, he definitely made the boys play defense. They wasn't they ranked pretty high in defense.
I couldn't tell.
Oh my God!
I couldn't tell.
Oh my God!
Here's what we saying though. When you ever heard this, Tyvis? Hey, ain't nobody coming through that door. Ain't nobody about to save you. You don't have cap space. You don't have picks. What are you gonna do? You better start developing some of these players because guess what?
Develop Dean Wade.
Okay.
I knew you like
That's Mike's favorite player.
what Sam
like that
Merrill.
So, listen, hey,
It's a nice story, huh?
It's a nice story. That sounds cute.
By the way, before we bring in our guest, is Channing Frye with us or not yet?
He's not here yet. Not yet. But real quick, before you say that thought.
Sign Channing Frye.
So what is in your mind, Bull? And once again, we know the options are limited, but can the Cavs, with the current core four they have, their current roster construction, is that enough to beat the top teams in the East?
Probably not. The only reason I'll say not, I won't say definitely, is because we don't. Maybe with a good coach, it's possible.
He better be Red Auerbach.
I said probably not. I didn't say yeah, they can. I said probably not.
With the core four, Tyvus. Let's go around the horn. Core four, as constituted, totally healthy.
I don't feel good about it. Tyvus?
Are they beating the top teams?
You talking Boston and the Knicks?
No. We're gonna throw something in here. Because if we
And by the way, everybody forgot about Milwaukee.
If we're assuming health, then you got to assume Giannis is back 100% then, right?
And Embiid.